So, if you were looking for some amazing screenshots of Sonic Movie 3, then you have found the correct video, because this in fact is going to cover a lot of the movie, so massive spoilers in case if you want to know about that. I unfortunately cannot show footage in this video due to Paramount's copyright system, but hopefully I'm going to be able to show a lot of screenshots, and this is going to be awesome to break down pretty much the whole of the movie, so this is going to be super duper awesome. If you are new to the channel and you enjoy me as a person, which obviously you don't necessarily know yet because I've been doing the video for like less than a minute, ensure to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. You don't have to. Anyway, we're going to hop right into this. We're going to be going through pretty much the whole film, but we're not going to be actually showing the footage. We're going to show screenshots instead. Well, not really screenshots, but like, I'm going to go throughout the movie and then you'll be able to see some pictures. So, without further ado, this is going to be quite a short video, but it's going to go through quite a lot of content. Anyway, in 3, 2, 1, and we have got the very start of the movie. So this is Shadow escaping Prison Island. This is a very cool shot. We've seen this all the time. We've seen this always beforehand, and it was such an awesome shot. Now we've got the big race that happens right at the start of the movie. So you've got Knuckles, Sonic, and Tails, and you always got Sonic wearing this super ridiculous duck floaty, and it's super funny. We've got Tails, and then we've got the next part where they revisit Sonic's original cave. It's super duper awesome. You know, I love how they've kind of made it look like it's been abandoned for a while, and they've nailed that honestly so perfectly. I love how they've been able to blend the new movies with the continuity of the first movie, which wasn't really taken as seriously as the third one. And now we've got Longclaw and Sonic, which is pretty awesome. Now we've got Shadow, you know, in Tokyo, and he's being... I don't know how no one notices that there's just a random hedgehog in Tokyo, but I don't know. It doesn't make too much sense in my opinion in terms of that spectacle. Now we've got the part where Sonic says an infamous line where Knuckles says something about, "I'm 1,000,000% muscle. Good, you've been listening." And then Sonic says the infamous line from SA2, talk about low budget flights, no food or movies, I'm out of here. Super awesome. Then they all jump from the helicopter, so that's super awesome. Then they have, you know, the infamous fight scene that everyone's seen. Knuckles defends them, and then he gets destroyed, and then Tails, yeah, he gets taken out too, which is pretty sad. And then we got Shadow getting on his motorcycle. Well, it's not really his motorcycle. It's just a motorcycle that he's borrowed, I'm pretty sure. And then there's this really, really cool chase scene with Shadow and Sonic, and it's so cool. I love this. This also sparks the first time where we see Shadow using his Chaos Energy in order to power up his motorcycle. That is a really, really cool shot. So I can't really show like the full of it, but here are like some shots. You obviously you've got Tails, and he's like flying the helicopter before they're about to go in, and you've got Knuckles saying that, you know, he can take on Shadow, and then you've got the chase scene, which is pretty awesome, and then you've got I need to find this next part. Sonic is chasing Shadow up a massive building, so this is really cool. He's going all the way up, and then Shadow jumps off the motorcycle as you've seen, and yeah, just destroys Sonic, and then Sonic gets chained up, and then they all go to the Chow Garden, which is a pretty cool reference. In my opinion, I love the Chow Garden in this, but at the same time, I find it a little bit, I don't know, they could have implemented it better. That's just my opinion though, I think, yeah. Then you have the scene with, I think his name's Officer Walters? The Olive Garden guy. I'd rather call him the Olive Garden guy, because that's what everybody knows him for. And then you've got, you know, Shadow. Shadow was actually found from a meteor, so that's pretty awesome. And then this is Dr. Stone. Now Knuckles says like, "Oh, he's the donut milker." Oh, and also, can I get a shot again of that? No, Agent Stone actually saves the day from destroying all these Eggman robots because they've been hijacked by Gerald, and obviously Sonic's trying to defend them. Pretty awesome. Like, this is, you can see this, and then Eggman's like, somebody's taking control of my tech, so, you know, he's pretty annoyed at that, and then he teams up with Sonic, and then we get the really pretty funny scene with Eggman and Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is one of my most favorite characters of this whole movie series, because, oh man, like, they need him in movie 4. Like, if they're gonna get rid of Jim Carrey, even though that's maybe unlikely, probably unlikely, because Jim Carrey said he'd love to keep doing this. Anyway, we get shots of Maria, which is pretty awesome. Then she does like this pretty funny face thing. Then Shadow gets hooked up. Don't know why, because he's invincible, but hey, I don't know. He's the ultimate life form. And then you got, they actually do reference something in this. Shadows is actually there. If you can see this here, they're actually referencing Biolizard. So Biolizard's on the screen. For you guys who are avid Sonic fans, you'd know about Biolizard from Sonic Adventure 2. Then you've got Shadow and Maria looking up at the stars, so that's pretty awesome. And then you got the last shot of Maria, and then you got Sonic and Eggman and Tails, Knuckles, and Stone showing up to the facility, which is pretty awesome. And then they're showing it, and Knuckles is like saying, "Ghosts? There are no ghosts." And Tails is intrigued, and Sonic is just ready to just show himself in the best way possible. Now you've got Sonic searching, and this is kind of like a pick down, like a takedown, if you know, like Batman. This is really awesome. I love how all the characters were like picked off, and then Jim Carrey's just awesome in like his charisma with Ben Schwartz, who is the voice actor of Sonic, if you're not aware. And then they see Gerald, and honestly, some of the best moments in this film were with both of the Jim Carreys on screen, and honestly, I could not stop laughing at some of these scenes. Like they were just awesome. Now you've got Knuckles, Sonic, and Tails, and then Shadow's caught them and is saying about how Maria was taken from them, and you know, we want to show the world payback. So that's, you know, and Sonic's like, "Oh, you have a good heart," and trying to convince Shadow. Tails obviously looking quite scared. Knuckles is determined, just ready to destroy Shadow for the payback of what he's done to him right at the start, embarrassing him. And then they have a ring, and then they teleport out of this area, and then Knuckles uses his teeth like a dog. Maybe that's a reference to Clifford the Big Red Dog. I'm not sure. Then they have the ring, and they actually escape onto a mountain. And then Eggman's like, "Oh, you were able to destroy those three in a matter of an afternoon." And it took me ages. But yeah, that's pretty cliche. And then you've got Stone and Shadow. Love Shadow's design here still. Like, I love how they still keep like his cute fluffy texture, even though they've shown to be quite menacing throughout some parts of the film. Then you've got Shadow. Then you've got Jim Carrey dressing up as Santa. I love how like flexible they were in this movie. Like, this is them showing off like their father and son dynamic. So this is pretty awesome. No, grandfather, I mean, sorry. Anyway, now you've got them returning home, and then you've got the puppet Tom, and then you've got Tom and Maddie. Then you've got Sonic in talking about his plan to go in London and steal the USB drive, like put the USB drive to get inside of the London headquarters, which is pretty awesome. You got Stone, and they want to get the key card so then they don't launch the Eclipse cannon, because Gerald talks about destroying like humanity and stuff. Until Eggman, well, actually, we'll talk about that in a minute, but pretty much, in short, Eggman disagrees with Gerald because he doesn't want the universe to be destroyed. Now we've got another part with Knuckles. Funding. So, and then Gerald helps them out. Another thing, Stone obviously gets jealous because of the relationship between these two, and then Shadow just doesn't care. He just wants to destroy everything. Then you've got this scene. I love these two. These are two awesome characters in the film. Like, honestly, they are so awesome. And now you've got, what else? You've got Tom and Maddie that are breaking into the headquarters to put the USB drive in. Pretty funny scene. Then you've got like this reference to like some romance or something. And then Shadow says like, "Oh, she's not worthy," which is, I think it's like a reference to like Shadow's Latina thing. I'm not sure. And then you got Tails just looking super cool. I love how they've used his gadgets, and the gadgets have come back into this film, which is pretty awesome. Then this is by far the best scene in the film. This is like the breakdancing scene. I love this scene genuinely wholeheartedly, and the fact that I'm not sure if Jim Carrey did this stunt, but based off of like how he's done the past two films, I genuinely believe this is him. The fact that he's able to move like that at such well, he's not old, but you know, most people wouldn't be able to do that at his age, and that's very impressive. Then Sonic just says, "Nope, I'm gonna go in," and Knuckles is just like, he wants to go in, but you know, he's been told stay there for backup. This is one of the coolest parts in the movie. Yeah, obviously you got Gerald and like his teeth fall out, so that's pretty funny too. And Knuckles, so they both get caught in the contraption room after they pass the lasers. And this is one of the coolest parts of the film. I love this part. It's when Knuckles saves all of them. It is so cool. I love it so much. And then Sonic just like smashes this big rock that's about to land on Tom. So that's pretty cool. And then Tom's, the Officer Walters? I can't exactly remember her name. One thing that I'll say about the Sonic movies is I can't always remember the human characters, except Tom and Maddie, obviously. Those are, like, the very memorable characters, but sometimes it's more difficult to remember off the top of my head. But pretty much the agent lady that she stole the keycard because she was able to get it away from Eggman, and she runs away. And then something quite cool happens is Tom uses his hologram abilities to turn back into the guy that died. This guy died, by the way, and actually was able to get the keycard. So Tom was able to secure the keycard back, and then what ends up happening, right, is he turns back into his normal, state, and Shadow's like, Officer Walters, and then just hits him. And then what happens is Sonic finds out, he loses it, and then obviously you've got Eggman trying to, like, oh, what can we do now? And then they teleport up to the Eclipse Cannon, I'm pretty sure. And then you've got Tails actually flushes Shadow and Stone that were underwater in that base. And then there's this whole breakup thing with Stone and the Doctor, which is pretty funny. Now the next part we've got is, let's have a look. We have them wearing their new suits, and Eggman gets like super excited. Even though they're the same person, it's just amazing. Then what happens is Eggman and Gerald are looking up at London as they go up into the massive ship. And then we have Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and they're all upset because Tom got really badly hurt and he's not responding, and Sonic just loses it here. I love that they have like this dynamic shift where Sonic is just like ready to go, and he's like, Knuckles, show me where the Master Emerald is. This is where Sonic means business, and he wants to go super. So that's another focal point of the movie. So that's very important. And now, as you can see, you've got these are the two eyes of the that was two eyes of the Death Egg. So that's a pretty cool reference. Now you've got Shadow's flashback with Maria and the soldiers and the tragedy that happened to Shadow. What I would have preferred, though, and listen, I know it's not always the best at the writer's hearts. I honestly wish they made this movie longer and gave Shadow more of a time to express his emotion with Maria, because it felt very short-lived. The one downside I would say with this film, and you can disagree with me, that's okay if you want to write your opinion in the comments, but I personally believe that I did not like the interactions with Maria. And if you want to know why this is if you watch Sonic X Shadow Generations Dark Beginnings, that perfectly explains why. That is my exact reasoning behind that. Now you've got Knuckles says that the Master Emerald is, you have to go through him, and you don't know who him is? Wade, and he has the Master Emerald. It's so ridiculous, but it's funny, and I love it. I genuinely love that. And then Sonic gets the Master Emerald, turns super, and then he means business. He goes up, flies into the sky, and heads for Shadow. And then Shadow has a flashback, and he starts powering the Eclipse Cannon really quickly. He starts running super duper fast. And then another cool part happens. If we continue going, go here, keep going. You got Shadow just looking super angry. And then this part, Supersonic just flies straight through the ship, picks up Shadow and says, you hurt my family, this ends now. And then Shadow's like, we go. And then Shadow says like, I can't remember, what did he say? He said like something like, now you know the pain I felt for 50 years. And oh my god, the expression, it gives you goosebumps genuinely. Like, it's so cool, so cool. And then you've got this shot between Supersonic and Super Shadow, and they obviously fight, and then Supersonic gets knocked out by Shadow, and then they both grab the Chaos Emerald at the same time, and then they both turn super. So like this shot, it kind of explains this. They both go super, Shadow blocks him and says, this ends now. And then they start fighting, and they go all across the world, and it's super awesome. And then Sonic's like, oh, don't you dare talk about my family, because Shadow captures Sonic and then puts him down here. And then what happens is Sonic goes super rage mode and punches Shadow all the way up to the moon, and is about to kill him. So he's like so ready, and then Tom reminds him, there's a flashback of Tom saying, remember what's in your heart in here, and then he stops, and then Shadow's like, okay, I don't know why I have this pain, I don't know how to deal with it, and then Sonic and Shadow obviously have like a very heartfelt moment, and then they both go super again, so this is a super awesome point in the film. I love it so much. And then you've got Shadow, and then you've got Eggman and Gerald, and Gerald's like got like some some really weird scorpion hands, so it's pretty funny. I love these scenes, by the way. These scenes are so awesome. And now you've got both of the super forms, you know, fighting and stuff. And then, you know, Eggman gets sacrificed, but we don't know that yet. He's like ready to destroy some tin cans, and then Shadow says try to keep up. This is a really awesome part of the film. And then you've got this next part where they're trying to stop the Eclipse Cannon, and it's just, they're just holding it, and it shows how powerful Super Sonic and Super Shadow are in this film. Not as powerful as the game counterparts, but that's obviously to be expected. And then they're trying to hold the force field up. Really, really awesome. I love this part. And then Stone actually sees all of this happening. And then actually what happens is Gerald actually gets hit by one of the quills that that he got from Sonic, and it turns yellow, so he's able to just spike Gerald all the way out into outer space. And then Knuckles, and this is their reaction to when they move the Eclipse Cannon and it hits the moon. By the way, this is very rough. I'm not going into immense detail because I want you guys to actually, you know, see the film for yourself. But this is just like a general breakdown. Then Sonic gets knocked out of his super state after stopping the Eclipse Cannon. Tails tries to throw a ring but gets knocked out. So then Knuckles ends up throwing a ring and then helps them. There's a final dramatic scene with Eggman, which is pretty funny. Now we have got another part, which, oh, come on, load. Now we've got like a flashback with Maria and Shadow, and it appears Shadow got blown up in the process. Knuckles saves them. That's kind of like relating to the previous leaks that I discussed in the other video. And then there's a really funny moment in this where Eggman's like, Stone, I always called you. I know you were sick of it, but you were a sicker friend. And it was, I guess there's only one. Yeah, so I can't show that part. Now we've got all of them landing, and then Sonic apologizes to Tails and Knuckles for going on his own like that, but he was obviously doing it because he loves Tom, and he wants Tom to be safe. And now he's like, instead of Team Sonic or Team Knuckles, how about just Team? And that's when the movie ends. Now, do I think this movie's perfect? I think there's a lot of improvement that the movie could have. I do think it's a good movie, but if I'm being honest, I think there could have been, like, some, like, if they did, like, a crater, I don't know, like, I feel like they could have executed a lot more things fluently with Shadow's character development, and I think all that needs, I don't think it's a bad movie, I think this is a very good movie. I just think they need to make the runtime longer, and if that means sacrificing one movie for like another 2 years just to make the runtime like 2.5 hours, and it not just be fight scenes, but a lot of it be emotion, which is what I really enjoyed about Sonic 2, like especially that beach scene in Sonic 2 between Knuckles and Sonic and talking about friendship and stuff. I really did enjoy that. That was such a focal point towards their character development. That was super amazing. Yeah, pretty much that is it for this video. If you did enjoy this, kind of like this breakdown, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.